Shanti, can you hear me? Wonderful. Gotti two hotties in the crowd. Everybody in the stream can hear me. Backstage. Yes. But I just want to make sure you heard. Cody said that we are on stream.
Wow.
Cody's prompt. Everybody in the stream to see us. You're watching this and why we're not. It hasn't. Cody, you should set up an OBS scene that's you can just easily switch over once you go live. I'm assuming you're using OBS. If you're using a scene, you can actually remove desktop audio. Yeah, I mean, I've done it before. It's so that you could just adjust the inputs and outputs of the different scenes.
I'm here early. Good morning.
Farouk, we're already streaming, just so you know.
Okay, I'm here early. I'm on stage showing my enthusiasm for this process. I'm wearing my Goot shirt.
CGF, very, very beautiful.
And now I'm going to disappear because it feels awkward coming up here between you and Shanti.
Well, soon other people will come up, I'm sure.
Okay, I'll wait just a moment.
If you want to actually, like I've done it before, I can help you. So in OBS, there's once you switch to a new scene, you just remove all of the audio bits that you don't want. Or you can mute them. Cool.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello. Just so you know, Wilder and Benny, we are streaming already. So.
Oh, nice. Don't do anything. Don't do anything.
He's just covering his ass because he warned me because he knows me, but he has to tell you two to make it look like he wasn't just warning me.
That's what you want to specifically single anyone out.
Right.
Oh, the pings. Blood is coming. Oh.
All right, let's have a great meeting, everyone.
We will have an amazing meeting.
We always have a good meeting. It's the highlight of my week, this thing.
The highlight of my week is Mondays because everybody decides to, not work on
And
the
everyone
weekends.
else is also working.
And I was like, yay, people again.
Yeah, there's I like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, yeah, just because of the Twitter Spaces and this. It's like by the end of the day for me, so it's something to look forward to.
Hmm. People to come. I feel like they need to make a more pleasant beeping.
Yeah, it's quite jarring, isn't it?
Quite
That's good. That's a good critique.
and a
It's the
more-
same when someone knocks on your office. You just
Yeah.
if you're in the middle of working, you're like, Jesus, what was that?
It needs like a peaceful little like chime
Yeah.
sound.
No, I think we can change it. I think maybe it's a user specific thing. This is one of those ones where it doesn't annoy. It only annoys you for a split second, so you just never bother to get around to fixing it.
Okay. I think we have
Lovely
everyone.
alcohol-free beer here.
Thanks for clarifying.
It's pretty good. It actually tastes like the real thing.
Awesome. Welcome everyone. I think let's get started because it looks like we have most people in the audience. I think this is my first meeting seeing all of you in 2024. So happy 2024. And we will get started with Chris.
Well, hello, everybody. Can I get some emojis in the chat so I know that you're there? And of course, here come the tomatoes. Well, happy. I already said happy. I think happy New Year to you, so I can't say that as well. But thank you so much for again showing up every week. You are very special human beings, and anons, or if you, I don't know if you think you're a human or not, whatever. But the normal part of this meeting, I was wondering, like maybe what we should do is that we should invite somebody new every week to repeat the mission. That way, it's not just me saying it over and over again. But the idea of the mission, the reason why we do this is because every week, I think it's important to remind everybody why we're putting in the efforts. We are building a blockchain because we don't think the current blockchains that exist are good enough. We believe that there can be a better solution out there. And even though we might not know the exactly how to do it, we're out there trying. We are fighting against the urge to just complain about something and not do anything. So that is why Void exists, is that we are a group of people, we're a community that we believe blockchain can be better and it will be better with effort and through decentralization and through a mass of people. This is why it's called Void. Void it means you all. This is your chain. This is not my chain. This is not the core team's chain. It's not Wilder's chain. It's not the governance committee's chain. It's everybody's chain. And we as a whole, we do have enough brain power. We do have enough motivation. We do have enough effort if we actually care to make a chain that actually it needs to be. And you are the representation of the community, because it's be impossible to get all of the community here together every week to voice their opinion, to voice, to actually to come together and actually make decisions. So you are the representation. You are not a secret cabal. You are not a all-powerful group. Your job is to be the representation of the community itself, to build a blockchain that is owned by the Zyphoid. You are secret, other than Zyphoid. You are the representation, and it is up to you all to put the effort in to actually make this network decentralized and owned by the people putting in the value. There's a lot of other things. We want to make sure that we make blockchain usable, and we want to make sure that we're a little bit more focused on our go-to-market. And that's what we are doing. And we want to acknowledge doing it this way is hard. I actually had a conversation with somebody that was a former part of a foundation last week that talked about how we are doing things at Voy, where we are trying to actually make decisions in a decentralized way. And they pointed out to me that is a horrible idea, and it was very hard because nothing would get done, and that they tried that before and they hated it. But the truth is that I acknowledge that doing it this way is hard, and I acknowledge that doing it and making decisions in a centralized way is actually faster, but I don't feel like that is right. And I personally make myself feel better when you all frustrate me or when the process goes too slow, because it is the right way of going at it. And even though that is harder, it is okay that it is harder because it is the right way. So I hope that you all also use that to ease your frustrations that do come up. I know that you guys have frustrations as well. Wilder, I see it in your eyes every once in a while when like after you declared yourself the almighty ruler of everything, and people didn't like that. But that is we are doing things right, and that is okay. And I, for one, will bow down to the new overloaded Wilder. So if that is what the market suggests. I just kid, of course, Wilder. But yeah, so that is what we're doing at Voy. So we're doing an amazing job, and I want to make sure that I tell you every week. I'm actually not good at it. You hear me a lot poking at people and saying you need to do better. You need to do better. But the truth is I'm extremely proud of you. And no, we're not going to do everything right, and we're going to make a lot of mistakes. And you're going to hear me a lot pointing out where the mistakes are. But that's not like because I'm not happy where we are. Like, it's mind blowing the progress we've made in only a year. December of 2022, nothing existed. And now we are at over 600 nodes. We are at multiple wallets. We are at multiple AMMs. We are at an NFTs Launchpad. We have more on Voy than many mainnet chains do. Like, let that sink in. Like, it's crazy where we are, and it's because of you. It's because of the effort. It's because we're doing things the right way. So keep that in mind. You are a representation of the community. We are trying to do something the right way, and even when we make mistakes, even though it's hard, this is the right way of doing it. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you all for actually doing it. So thank you for that. So a couple things I want to hit. I'm going to read over the agenda to make sure I don't jump. We don't have Henrik on here, right? As an agenda item. Okay. So I'll talk about. So one thing, if you haven't known yet, we added a member of the core team, and who's not up here for some reason. But he should be up here.
Hiding in the crowd. Henrik,
come on up so you can see him. So we added Henrik to the core team. He actually might be home yet. You're yeah. That's right. You know what? He doesn't have to come up here if he doesn't want to. He's out getting his car fixed. But anyway, so we added Henrik to the core team because we saw that there was a need on the core team for somebody that is focused on technicals, focused on somebody on the how nodes work, how the state proofs work, and specifically also owning Voy ID, the entire wallet protocol. And getting that delivered. So we brought him on. Super jazzed about it because he is exactly the person that we need. I finally convinced him to come over from Amazon. He was at Amazon for a while. Before that, he was at MGM Epic running their streaming services and doing all the things there. But I think that the only reason that he has come over here is because I begged him for the last 10 years, I think, or to come and join me. I've known him for a very long time. He's actually been my friend for a very long time. Fun fact, him, myself, Kelly from Arrington, and also Sean Ford all worked at the same startup like 12 years ago, and that's where we all met and knew each other, and all coming full circle. But really happy to have him on board, and he's been doing amazing so far. He's been doing this now for a little over a week, and connecting with all of the big brains at Algorand to actually kind of do brain dumps of why things work and how things work. So really happy to have him on board. Do we talk about the hackathon at all? Can we talk about the hackathon? Got to do that update on that. Okay. So the hackathon this weekend was amazing. It was really it was everything that we wanted it to be, and it wasn't your traditional hackathon. It was one of those hackathons where I think we just called it hackathon because we didn't know what else to call it. But traditionally with hackathons, it's like, oh, come and build things and try things out and build stupid things that nobody ever uses again. And then every once in a while you get something that comes out of it. I didn't really want that. I felt we were too early for that, and we didn't have the marketing spend to do it quite like that, honestly. And I don't know if it's worth it. I think that's a debate for another time anyway. But what I did know is that we had a lot of missing pieces. We had a lot of things that still needed to be developed. And we had a bunch of brilliant, big brain people that knew how to build those things. So I tricked them all to all get into the same room and build things for all weekend long. I say trick, but honestly, they're just great human beings. And we got exactly what we needed out of it. Over the weekend, we got 3 bridges. No, they're not fully on their way, but every single one of them is like knocking on the door. And actually, Ludo's is done. So that now we have ASA bridges. We have the start to the state-proof decentralized bridges. We have the NFT bridges, all on its way and over the weekend. And that was just the bridge side. We had Austin and his brother Mitch finishing out the, Highforge, which is on production and ready to go. If you go to highforge.io, you can actually start launching NFT projects on Voy. Crazy, right? Haruf, who's actually in the crowd, has already tried out, and he's actually told me great things about it. So congrats on that, Austin, Mitch, what you've done, and it's working. And then we have MG and his team put in the hard work to actually build the NFT indexer, so it makes it easy for people to integrate these new NFTs. And I met with MG today to keep that work going. Austin Mitch is Highforge. But great job to the community. They really pulled through. They made, like, we jumped like 5 steps over the weekend, which is amazing. So congrats. Thank you so much for all of you. I think those are the main things I want to kind of update on. But then I'll pass it back to you, Shanti. But thank you, governance committee. You're amazing. We're doing it. Rah rah, shish kumbah.
Thanks, Chris. Not much on the proposal front, but we do have Nomadex in community review, I think, for the next few days. So please go in there and put in your
go use it. Like that's the other thing I like. So we did talk about hackathons, but those 2 AMs that we have are like, they weren't even part of the hackathon. They're outside. Shelly, where the algo drop swap. It sounds funny. You need a better name for that, Shelly. By the way, we got to figure something out there. But then is it you call it Nomadex? I like Nomadics.
No.
Nomadics because it's nomad. Anyway, that's what I've been calling it. I'm a huge LP provider now. Then so is Gov, and so is Benny, and I think Wilder is as well, right? Are you? I think I saw you putting LP in Nomadics.
Responsibly.
And like, I mean, things like this is unproven tech. It's not audited. So of course, be as responsible as possible. But the cool thing about it is that I think both Nomadics and Shelly both built in that if you use Voy as one of the pairings in the liquidity pool, it is still used to protect the network. And you still will get rewards if that node that is using those pools produces blocks. So I said, why not? And threw a bunch in there. So, and Nomadics also built out the recently the limit orders, which I think is also really neat. But anyway, sorry, Shanti. I just want to shout out them as well. But back to you.
Okay, so next it's Wilder. Go ahead.
So, this week we were able to meet on Friday, and it was just Andrew and myself. We're trying a new meeting time just to allow other people to join if they want to. So this is Friday at noon. Going forward, let us know if that time works for you. It's that or Monday at 1 that we're switching between to give people options. So this week we met and we were focused on digging deeper into the token process on the admin side and getting to the root of where the process begins. So bear with me while I share screen. Okay, I think that's working now. So right here at step 3, this is in between the first evaluation and the second evaluation, or at least that's what I was talking to Benedict about, and as well as Andrew and Scotty. And the idea here is that there is some form of information that we are now including in the process of having a proposal pass, so that there is the beginnings of the paper trail. So right now, nothing has been changed. We're just looking at the document, but what we are doing is building out the directory or the tracker. So currently these things aren't being tracked. It's being posted in Discord. This is where we're going to start with the tracking, and from here, develop a system that's going to allow, first of all, the people in the council to not get overwhelmed with filling in forms, but also a easy to read place for future transparency and for other projects to see how much they've been paid out, and even as much as what milestones they're at and where they're at on their way to reach that. So to look quickly into the proposal token allocation plan, this looks somewhat similar to the document we looked at last week, and you'll see there are similar details. But importantly, this is the first document on the chain, so in the chain of processes, and I think this is where we start. I think it's relevant for what we're already doing in the proposal process. Once something passes second evaluation, we have a lot of this information already, and now it's on us to create a system we agree on where there are certain responsibilities that we take and the proposer takes, where the forms are getting filled in for the council, they get signed off on, and for Scotty and the foundation, that they're being properly tracked, and that they have, when they come to look at these forms, an easy way to read the information and then to put their sign of approval on it. So right now, it's still something that as I said, no changes made. We're just going through here and thinking about right now how to get the tracker started. And the idea will be to start tracking proposals going forward. So we're not continuing to create a backlog of projects that sort of aren't being treated this way. And then once we think we have a system that's effective and is working, then we can start working through the backlog of proposals that have already passed and we weren't treating this way. So that's where it's at right now. If you have strong opinions either way about it, around whose responsibility it is to fill in certain sections, those are the kind of things we're discussing right now. And then what we've been talking to Scotty about is where is this being tracked and how it's being integrated into the current tracker. So Scotty's doing a great job tracking the proposals, and this is in some ways an addition, but in other ways this also comes with a lot of extra tedious work. So this is all still a work in progress. If you think you can be of assistance here on the administrative side, I'd love to have you join the next meeting, or reach out and message me or Scotty if you'd like to, or sorry, maybe don't reach out to Scotty, reach out to me, and we can coordinate something with Scotty where you can team up with us and put your brain to finding a system and methods we can use that will make sure going forward we're treating every proposal officially and the way that we would want to treat proposals in a mainnet scenario. So that is what I have to share as far as documents go. Let me just navigate Roam UI. One moment. Okay. So does anybody have any questions on that? Pretty similar to last week's token release. And as I said, join us on Friday if you'd like to dig into that a little bit more and work with Scotty to figure out a way to track all this. So moving on to what I would consider the fun stuff is talking about the requirements for the different stages. There was discussion last week around the combining of stages, and I think what came from that discussion was more what's holding us back from entering those next stages. And the hackathon over the weekend pretty much brought them neck and neck. So I'd like to give an opportunity to the devs right now who are working on those final pieces. I know it's not sort of all on their shoulders for us to enter the next stage. It's a collaborative effort, but just with this great acceleration in development, both the NFT stage and the DeFi stage are right on that last step. So if I could ask Zarmian to come up if he could, and just provide us a little bit of an update around the token challenge scripts and how it pertains to the DeFi stage.
Hey, Wilder.
Hey.
You guys can hear me? Good. Yeah, so I've been working on the scripts. That the biggest challenge with these is that there's a lot of, and Benny can attest to this, a lot of different metrics, and the challenge that comes from that is figuring out where to get all of the data from to fulfill those metrics, or to how to digest all of that data to calculate those metrics. So some of the things that I've been waiting on involve getting DEXs in place in order to capture the data from the DEXs and figure out how we would do that. Figuring out, ARC200 and how to capture transactional data from that, because we can get transactional data from blocks and index that, but we need to index the data from ARC200. So it's been slow going, unfortunately. And as a result, it would be really helpful to have some more eyes on this. So my plan right now is within the next, I would say, day or two, to get what I have, get a repo set up with what I have so far. And I'm trying to organize right now what is needed. And it really comes down to like analyzing each of the different metrics and figuring out what data is needed for each of those metrics, and then figuring out what we need, like how to get that data. And those can really be, 3 different people that can assist in that. We don't need, a developer to figure out, what data is needed. We need the developer maybe to figure out where to get it from. So I have those all broken down. And what I'd like to do is put that in a place, post it on Discord, and get some assistance in how we can, work through the rest of what's remaining.
I think that's a great
really
solution in my mind.
I have the start of it. I mean, I have the start. I should say beyond that. I have the framework for it, and I have started working through these different. Capturing different data and storing it in essentially a local index in order to be able to calculate, the data for the wars. There's just a lot, but that's all it comes down to.
I just want to say thanks, Zarmian, for all the work you have done to date, and yeah, I'm excited to get these over the line, obviously. So if there are anyone, or if there is anyone out there that can help contribute, that would be amazing. I do definitely want to reiterate that Examian is kind of blocked until the DEXs do deploy, just because obviously he does need to know exactly what the data looks like and how he's going to utilize that to compute the metrics. So yeah, please do keep that in mind. those of you out there that are writing or deploying dexes anytime soon. Obviously, with what Shelly's done with Algo Drops, Swap, and with Nomadex, it does help, but it'd be great to get Humble up as well, because that will be one of the key players too. Well, it'd be great to have all three of them, to be honest.
Exactly. Here, I'll step down so others can talk.
Yeah, so I was wondering, so it looks like we will have like 3 dexes. And it feels like it will be 2? Chris? Okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess that's an assumption. Shelly would have to confirm, but I'm guessing as soon as Shelly launches Humble, he'll bring down Algo Drop Swap.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. But one didn't want to assume that. Okay, we have 2 dexes. I still keep talking. So my thing was like Xamian has now to look at like those 2 dexes, how they handle things, and to calculate the data from both dexes. And I thought maybe it should be on the dexes to provide them specific data that he asks for, and in a format such that it's so that he can work with those with his data from both dexes in the same way. So he doesn't have to like develop something for Humble and then something for how's it called? God, I forgot. Nomadex.
X.
I think that's great.
I agree to this. And I was just assuming that it would happen anyway. Like both Shelly and WebDev, I've been very open to work with everybody. I would say, Zarmin, just when you work with them, just assume they will do what they can as far as modifying the. Like I know, like Shelly, like most likely what will happen is that he will say run Arc200JS like this, and you'll get the information you want. Is what I would assume, and I'm pretty sure Nomadix is using Arc200JS anyway as well. So that's what I agree.
I think it's great. I think if there was some standard that these events follow, that would make it even easier down the line for analytics tools to utilize, for instance. So yeah, that'd be very exciting to see. Or
we could just say that if the DEX does not make it easy to iterate, then they are not part of the token wars, and then they will cry. And
well, I'd say we do both. I think it'd be really cool to have those sorts of that data standardized in some way. I think that's a really good idea, Lobo.
I mean, this to me is the first step to getting a global analytics tool. So Zara, I mean, once you're done with this, you can just put an interface on it and bibbity bobbity boo, Bob's your uncle. We got ourselves an analysis tool.
Yeah, and there'd be all kinds of crazy KPIs that people can see as well. It won't just be a price one. It's going to be everything under the sun by the time we get to the end of this.
Thank you. Thank you for the update. And so everyone's aware that once we do have this accomplished, that gives us the ability to enter that stage. And as far as changing milestone requirements to enter stages, I think what we have right now makes a lot of sense. So I've been really impressed with just my personal experience, WebDev, and how easy he is to work with. I've messaged him. I've sent him code snippets where I've been having issues, and he's been extremely helpful. So I think that maybe speaks to the community that Voy is fostering. So I'm really, really happy about that, and I'm optimistic that the DeFi stage could be our first or our next stage. But after this hackathon, I feel like it's a little bit of a race now, which is exciting in its own sense, in a way. So if I could ask Shelly to come up, or sorry, Lobo, if you have something to say, please share now, and then if I could have Shelly come up.
Yeah, just wanted to add one comment that I thought of. When we talk about like when the DeFi stage would be ready, in my opinion, we so like Nomadex and Humble have like in their things that they would open source the contracts and stuff. I think the requirement should be like they should have to open source before they can be part of the DeFi challenge, so other devs can have a look at those contracts for security reasons?
I think that's worth asking.
Shelly, don't be a coward. Open source it right now. Show everybody. They boom, done. Show all your warts. I'm assuming are we going to talk about the potential NFT stage now? Is that where you're asking Shelly to come up?
Yes. Yeah. Just to give us.
I have thoughts on this as well.
Hello.
Shelly.
So I did take so I'm gonna provide an update on the NFT marketplace, and I did go through the outstanding requirements for the mostly for the bounty. There are some other features that would be added, and let's see, it might be helpful if I share my screen. I did, let's see, okay. I'm not sure if you can see my screen. Okay, so, crap, it doesn't work. Well, I'll just talk about it. Okay, here we go. So updates on the NFT marketplace, summary. Well, first, the summary is that recently we became capable of making collections actually with implementations that work. Myself, there's an implementation that it's just called something generic. It's called OpenArc72. So all of the smart contracts are open source. And it's been and the ARC72 implementation that's being used by the NFT Launchpad. So those are both implemented, and there'll be a common library that you could use to interact with them if you were doing like a scripty thing. But we also have the ability, like to display collections on a page, so you could easily implement a NFT gallery if you wanted to. And so a lot of the I did post the same update in Discord, but in the summary I did identify a blocker right now. Well, the NFT indexer is sort of a blocker to implement some pages on the marketplace, but I wouldn't call it blocking any progress. The main blocker right now is to have the sales mechanisms with smart contracts. So that's what we're going to focus in the upcoming stages of development. And
So I'd recommend if you haven't talked to Ost yet or actually collaborated with him, I talked to him earlier about integrating ARC200 potentially into smart contracts as well. And I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I recommend you guys touch base.
Yeah, we've been in open collaboration on
Good.
what the ARC72 implementations should do, like the same. So far, like the core features are, they work exactly the same, and so yeah, we're collaborating, especially on the implementation, so that we don't have things that work only on the NFT forge, the high forge NFTs, and maybe only on the open ARC72 NFTs. So that's one ongoing process. So just for update, that's where we're going for in the NFT marketplace development, just focusing on the sales mechanisms and how that's going to look. So highlights of since the last update, where ARC72 implementations are pretty much done, ready to be deployed. So that's one item. Next one is we have a start to the NFT indexer, which is still a work in progress but promising, especially for implementing some pages on the NFT marketplace that would be hard to implement without an indexer. UX design for the NFT marketplace, it's in progress, but it's not a blocker. Most likely the NFT marketplace will be moved forward without it and reskinned afterwards. And then the NFT gallery, I threw together something that there's only 2 collections, but I threw together something to show how you would build a NFT gallery. I'm going to like publish the code really soon. It's in the AlgoDrop site, but maybe someone will pick that up and create their own NFT gallery. NFT bridges, the NFT bridge that was part of the hackathon, but it will most likely be a collection, one collection on Voy for all of the NFTs that are bridged into Voy, and those NFTs will be available for sale and listing in the marketplace. That's it.
Thank you. That's a lot of progress has been made.
Thank you.
Quite impressive.
Hey, Walter, you mind if I actually jump in real quick, kind of talk about the NFT stage and the DeFi stage? The way that you all so I said again, how we decided we go, and it's up to you. It's going to be a vote for you all to decide, yes, we're ready for this. The way you should think about this are the 2 major events for each stage. The major event for the DeFi stage is the token war. And the question is, can the token war be successful today? And if the answer is yes, you should vote yes. If the answer is no, then the vote should be no. The major event for the NFT stage is, I don't think we should probably come up with a name for it, something cool. So think about that. But it is the unified release of 20 NFT projects that are all releasing a set of 50 at a time. And the question is, can this be successful? And Voy Originals, sure. I guess that's the good name for it, if anything. But I want to actually kind of talk about the second thing that has kind of come up. HighForge can actually only be actually used with Voy. It can't use VIA yet. What this means is that there's actually a fixed supply of Voy that's even potential, because there's a lot of stingy node runners that will not give up their Voy. This is a fact. Like they're producing blocks and they won't let that go. So this means that there's probably going to be a restriction on how much Voy will be able to be used to be bought to paid for these NFT projects or these NFTs. Also, Voy is going to be the only ASA that will be able to be, or only token that will actually be bridged between Algorand and Voy as well, the mainnet Algorand. So Voy is going to be a very heavily used, and there's going to be a tight hold on it. I recommend, because of this, that we were planning this anyway originally, but I recommend that because of this, that there should be a proposal out for those 20 NFT projects to receive a flat amount of VIA as a reward for being part of the Voy Originals, because I think it's only fair for them to do that. Up to you guys, though. I think at the end of the day, I think that the NFT projects deserve it to come on over. Yes, they will be earning Voy for doing the initial mint, but this also, I think, there should be an extra bonus there for them to be launching them. Anybody's thoughts on that?
No, but I definitely agree. I would be way more willing to part with my Via than Voy, and I can't even keep them at the end. So, you know, I think there definitely needs to be an alternative way for people to either get Via into their hands or some other mechanism, or at least something to entice them to part with that Voy.
IRL.
I have a thought on that. So I think if you are going to use your Voy and Benny is going to use his Voy, that would be full cool, right? Because I know you guys are going to give them all away, or you're planning on giving them all away. I think
Ours
if
are
you
going.
want to incentivize creators
I'm
that
using
you're
Benny's.
onboarding
I'm using
early.
Benny's Voy. Just to be clear, I'm using
No
Benny's.
one's sending me enough Voy, but also
No. My Voy is going to be used for bridging. It will be in it will be bridged over, so I won't have access to that.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not for rewarding artists that are already getting favors. In my opinion, that's how I see
What
it.
favors are they
Not
getting?
to be the
Well, who's getting favors,
You're
IRL?
handpicking these people, right? I'm just being the devil's advocate here. You know, I love a lot of these artists, for the record, and I'm all about getting Voy to people, but you're handpicking them with little to no input from the outside community, and you're determining when they launch. They're setting their price. I don't know. This seems like a sweet deal already without additional incentivization, in my opinion. So I just wanted to weigh in with that. Sorry, Haruf. And
Well,
everyone else.
I accept that argument, but the hand picking. Do you guys want to be part of it? I'm down with that. I'm doing it just because.
We've done it now. That's a little,
No, that's not I tapped a bunch of people on the shoulder a long time ago, but the truth is that I'm having to tap people on the shoulder again, be like, okay, now we're ready.
Yeah.
And the truth is that this is because of efficiencies. And the other thing is it's really based off of actually proven track record, but I'm open to making this
I don't necessarily disagree with it, and I do not in any way, shape, or form want to delay the NFT stage, because that's the one I personally am looking most forward to. So I do not want to be tricked into saying, let's take this back to the table and let's all decide on these artists. I'm also just saying I'm not probably on the surface in favor of giving them additional incentivization other than, hey, you get to sell the first stuff on the chain and people will probably be knocking the doors to buy it. But
you missed the first.
there'll be
You
a
missed the first
proposal
part
and
of
we'll
it.
talk it out.
But there's not enough Voy to go around to really.
Right.
That's the issue.
Right.
It's not like
That's
I agree with you.
Dexes, right? I don't understand how giving them it would solve that problem, I guess.
The issue is right now, Via to Voy is going for 2.5 Via for every one Voy, which is already crazy to me.
Okay. So you think
So
giving artists Via would help?
No, giving artists Via would mean that they are being rewarded for coming over. It wouldn't fix the Voy issue, but it would it would supplement the Voy issue with them. Because the issue is people are paying the Voy. The Voy most likely will be less than what they would be getting if it was a full free open market, which is not. And to supplement it would be extra Via to make sure that they are rewarded appropriately.
Okay. Maybe we need a proposal for it then, and we'll dig into it. Just sharing my thoughts and saying hello.
Well, at the end of the day, there's two things. The reason why I'm bringing this up because number one, I'm not creating the proposal. So the proposal will only go through if one of you believe that it's actually worth it. And number two, I have no vote on the proposal. So that I am suggesting to the governance committee that if you want good projects to come over, I bet you that it would be easier if there was an extra bonus.
Kelly says there will be an ARC 200 sales mechanism. Buy NFTs with your Via.
He's talking about the secondary market.
Lobo?
So I was wondering, I mean, it's half a joke, but So if the question is, does HighForge has a problem with like an ARC 200 specifically? So in theory, we could wrap VIA again into an Acer. Might sound stupid.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody would be confused probably. I
So we have a third token that is a
that is also pegged kind of to Voi, but not really. And yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then another thing. So my assumption was always like
It's so confusing.
the that the mint price for the NFTs was kind of set by someone and not the projects themselves. And if I think now about it, it could be like, since you talked about incentivizing those artists and projects to come over, I mean, if we think we have a problem with like the amount of Voi that people can spend or are willing to spend, maybe we could have like, you get a flat amount of rewards as a project if you set a max and mint price of X Voi, and if you don't, you get nothing from like an additional pot. You just can set your mint price, and if it sells out, great, and if not, then we can't help you.
I like this idea. I mean, so I bring this up because Haruf, I've seen Haruf tweet recently of trying to do price discovery. He has no idea what to actually set it at, and I don't think the community does either. By actually forcing a price, like you said, and then the reward they were getting would be from a proposal, I think it clears things up.
So just to add a couple of thoughts that I haven't heard so far, that as far as the incentive for the creators, we've been talking, at least the core team's been talking about this for quite a while. And from my perspective, these NFT creators that are coming here with a very small batch, 50 each, that they're issuing, they're also likely to bring a community with them that will be, many of them I'm sure have already been onboarded to Voi, but some of them have not. And when they find out that the creator is going to do this small batch, it's an additional way of onboarding onto the chain, seeing all the things that have been built out. And to me, that's what a lot of the incentive is being done, is being provided here for with to the creators, that it's very much a group of communities being integrated into a Voi in one fell swoop. As far as how much they should be incentivized to come over, I want them to be given a reward, one for onboarding their community, but also most of the effective community oriented projects that I've seen are very much oriented in their own community. So if they're given a big reward for doing this, the first place it's going to go is they're going to distribute it within their own communities. And again, it's further distributing all these different tokens out there. So I see it as a very effective way of going to a next step of getting additional onboarding of those that are blockchain friendly. And I don't personally want all of these creators to be algo-based projects. I want to see projects from numerous other chains to come and check out Voi and check out what we have going on here. So that's kind of my perspective on kind of the broader picture on, why are we incentivizing? Why are we giving a healthy reward to each individual creator? There's also the back of the envelope of, what are these things actually worth? And, the only thing that you can compare it to is what this council has been doing on stacking up other projects over time, including, we all know pretty much what it costs to run a participation node that gets a health score reward. And trying to figure out how's an NFT stack up next to that for a custom piece of art? And is it a week's worth of rewards? Is it 2 weeks of rewards? I don't know, but that's what Haruf tried to start doing last night. And it's interesting, there's divergent opinions.
I just came up with an awesome, amazing idea that Ost, you're in the crowd. I think I came up with a solution, but I got to make sure that's technically possible. So here's my flag to you to talk.
So I wanted just to jump in on this for a quick second. So I'm not necessarily against the rewards. Obviously I'd have to see what that would entail. But for me, I envision something similar to the token wars, where rather than the projects themselves getting these tokens, I know Bill, you mentioned oh well they'll probably distribute it out. Let's make that not a probably, and let's just make that that's what will be done. And we could do, I don't know exactly how we would structure it. Let's just say we incentivize buying and selling. So that's going to
This is a
bring
great
people.
idea.
Thank you.
I like it. I like
Can I
this one
say?
better. Disregard everything else anybody else has said. This is the best idea.
Okay, appreciate it, Chris. That's why you brought me on. But yeah, so I mean,
Right.
essentially, you could incentivize buying and trading NFTs, for example. So people are going to want to come over and say, "Hey, we want to make Voy," and then consequently, obviously, the artist, excuse me, would be getting fees and all that fun stuff there. Plus, obviously, they're going to be selling it, which I think if there was a rewards program behind it, there's more incentive to buy one, because that's where I kind of struggled. Was I'm not a huge NFT guy to begin with, and no offense, I don't want to just give away my VIA just for an NFT. But if I can maybe have a gamify and maybe possibly make some VIA, possibly lose some VIA, then you'll see me go full degen mode. So that's my recommendation.
Excellent. I think that makes a lot of sense. And as far as proposal,
So we now have NFT wars. Bum bum bum.
please, let's talk in gov discussion. These things don't have to happen just in directors meetings. It'd be nice if they happened organically and we didn't have to schedule them, but that meeting's there just to move things forward. So consider this another discussion topic where we'll help whoever's making the proposal craft it.
I mean, the NFT wars things means that we could raise the level, the 20 cap as well, where it's anybody can do it, launch 20 and be the best. I like it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we were to reward people based on who's holding the NFT at the end of a time period. Maybe there's a multiple
Hot
different.
potato.
Yeah, it's who's going to snipe it right at the end before the cutoff point, right? Back and forth. It could be quite interesting.
All right. Well, Benny, if you and I want to actually take on kind of a way to do KPIs around that.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about it's interesting. I feel like right at the very beginning, I can't remember who it was, but someone put together some kind of algorithm probably all the way back in January of last year to do with something similar to this, to try and mitigate against just wash trading and sending it back and forth.
Maybe wash trading is cool.
Maybe it's cool. Maybe it's cool. But yeah, no, I'd be interested in we can work together. And I'll allow you to work with me on that.
Thank you for that, Benny.
For a final topic, I'd like if Benny could provide a little more of an update around what his team accomplished in the hackathon and how that ties into the final requirement of testnet, which is transition to mainnet.
Go for it. Being called upon to take the stage. Yeah, so you guys are probably aware that right now, at least what we've defined as a milestone, obviously it's completely up to you guys anyway, but a milestone to progress into mainnet is to have a decentralized token bridge between, well, at minimum Algorand, but ideally Ethereum and Solana too. That'd be fantastic. And so for those of you that perhaps weren't following, just with the hackathon, I know Chris kind of went into it a bit. There's been some videos released, but ultimately what the team that I was working with did was kind of decouple the concepts of what is needed for a decentralized bridge into two parts, one of which is called Weaver. So it's kind of like weaving different threads, and every thread is a different network. And that is kind of the crux of what would enable decentralized bridging, as well as a few other decentralized applications. But really what it does is it's an oracle for state proofs across different networks. So it would store the state proof head, well, the root of the Merkle tree. I won't bore you guys the details, but it would store this root and also have the necessary state proof to verify the integrity of that root. And then transactions can then, from a transaction, you can basically derive a path to that route in the Merkle tree to essentially see if it's a valid, if that transaction did actually occur within the time frame that that message or that route is valid for. Long story short, what you can do is just basically enable the ability to verify transactions have occurred on different networks in a decentralized way. So that Weaver itself could be leveraged by other bridges, even Ludo's Aramid. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong, but the bridge that Ludo created could leverage that as an option, and so could other third parties. But really, I think it's really cool because there's just lots of different applications that could be built on top of that as well. And you can even reward people for being the first to serve up the latest state proof, because ultimately all you need to do is have a relayer, which is just copying, pulling the state proof as it's outputted from one network and just putting it in the oracle on the other. So I think it'd be very interesting to have that set up in a fully decentralized way. But that is one of the things that is needed to progress to mainnet right now, if that's what you guys decide upon ultimately. So Kieran right now is kind of keeping that going. He's going to work on that alongside Kabisi somehow. But really, I think he will end up getting Weaver over the line, and then another developer would pick up and leverage that to build a decentralized bridge. And that was pretty much what we did over the weekend. So it was pretty good fun.
On that note, and I think an important aspect of this with Aramid is that could be a potential collaboration. And for those who aren't aware, the way that bridge works uses, to dumb it down, a private network with soldiers. And in the demo that was provided for Aramid, it wasn't, it's all Ludo running his own machines, but he's open to having other people do this. And I think people expressing interest in this, or if you are interested, just to say something, let people know. I think that the idea of people also wanting to validate decentralized bridges is going to be an important aspect of testnet, or at least near the end of it. Lobo?
Maybe a kind of spicy comment. Since it sounds like we definitely need like a decentralized bridge from Void to Algorand, and then ideally more. So my question is, if we have one from Algorand to Void, we technically have one from Ethereum to Algorand if we wrap Wormhole into it. So I know we don't want to tie us like completely to like, okay, we need Algorand to, and then we can bridge over to Void this way. But it could be helpful like in a different way, because if we think like a few months or years away, I mean, Wormhole is like the big bridge player at the moment next to Exeler. And if those assets bridge to Void would be like Wormhole and then bridged on Algorand to Void, it might be easier to transition to then Wormhole in general, for example, in the future.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point, and I think part of the beauty of doing decentralized bridging as well is, well, yeah, not only do you tap into all the bridges already on one of the other networks, is maybe you can abstract the networks away entirely, and maybe a wallet is just an AVM wallet, and you don't care what assets are on what network or which applications are on what network either. But I think that would be very cool if we can obviously tap into some of those other bridges as well. We've got Messina and London Bridge 2 already on Algorand. I'd love to see us establish a decentralized bridge to Solana with Weaver, because I think they verify their transactions in a similar way, if I understood their documentation correctly. But we'll explore that as well. But yeah, I think it's a very exciting proposition.
Thank you, everybody. That's all I have. Once again, Friday at 12 EST to join us for a directors meeting in Discord.
Thanks, Wilder.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And by the way, preliminary checking in with Ost. This brilliant new idea seems possible. Bum, bum, bum. Tune in next week to find out.
That's the first time I've had a proper cliffhanger.
Yeah, bye everybody.
Cheers. Have a great week.
Okay.